Yesterday, when we were talking about all that had transpired during the years since the licenses were issued, which was March 26th, he said, "You talk in terms of we, never I." And I said, well, I think that's because over the years, I have just become so ingrained in the LGBT movement as an ally. And to me, it is a we movement now. We are all in this together. The allies that have stepped up to support the LGBTQ movement are passionately involved in trying to see justice done for members of the community. And I just didn't want him to think that it meant, like, because I had said we, that all of a sudden I was becoming a lesbian wannabe or something, you know what I mean? I said, yes, it did start out as an I thing, and I was very, very alone with this for a good 20 years until I began to be engaged with active LGBT community members as they began themselves to fight for marriage equality. And somewhere over the line, I just began to give everything I had to this movement in terms of time and money and volunteer time service that I was able to do. And it just is because I began finally, after about 20 years after the fact, I began to actually get to know people, finally, who were in the LGBT community. I did not really know anybody in 1975. So I was just trying to explain how it had evolved. And I do feel that allies that work with any social justice issue, if they're heartfelt about it, it does at some point become we and not them.
Why is it important that these actions of 1975 be remembered today?
Well, I'm an old feminist, and I desperately want the history of the women's movement to be remembered. I talk to students a lot, and they don't know the history of what's come before. For many social justice issues, recently read a huge number of Americans don't even know what the Holocaust was. And I deeply believe that if you don't know the history of what people that fought for your rights did, first of all, you may repeat the mistakes and the battles that unnecessarily, but secondly, you just don't have an appreciation of what you inherited. And I think that's extremely important.